Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. This is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Tonight we're going to talk about why more women are suggesting open relationships. And interestingly enough, it's not guys. It is definitely the women. And it's for a reason I think they don't mention in the article. And you'd think, well, maybe it's because the guy's not living up to her expectations or meeting her needs. And the answer is, you're correct. But you are correct, but not for the reasons you think it is, because it isn't. I firmly believe it is not the guy's fault. And I'm going to explain that as we get into the article. But it's becoming increasingly clear that women want to have it all. They've been told, and this is also for the young guys out there today. You know, young people in general, started around the millennials, the trophy generation. A lot of them were told, hey, you deserve everything, and you should go out there and chase your dreams and go get the college degree of your dreams, and everything will be right in the world, and everything will go great for you. And they listened. I think the men quickly found out that that's not true. I think they hit the real world. They got their college degree, and maybe it wasn't the degree that they wanted, and they found out, hey, I'm not able to get the job that I want, and I owe all this college debt, and things aren't working out so well for me. And they become disenfranchised. I think that's why you see a lot of young people today some of the young people today taking part in some of these riots, and they want socialism. They want things that will help them pay their bills. They want free college. They want all these things covered in life because I think they were sold a bad bill of goods. Does that mean it's not their fault? No, but it seems an awful lot of them want to get this stuff taken care of, and they don't want to step up and take care of it themselves. And the other half learned very quickly, hey, this isn't working out for me very well. I need to take a different direction in life. See, the young people that are kind of wanting things paid for, they haven't done a thing yet, because most of them are students. They haven't done a thing yet called taxes. And when they realize, hey, I can get my college debt paid off, and taxes go up 5% or 8% or 10% for everybody in the United States to pay for those college fees of mine, they don't realize that someday they're going to be 43 years old still paying an extra 5 or 10% for a check to pay for someone else's college. They could have paid it and done it with. But that's not the point. The whole point is that young men quickly found out that, hey, the real world is not quite what I was promised. But a lot of women, I think, many of the women are not finding that out because they still continue on with the, if you look at advertisements and commercials and news articles and social media, everything is, well, women are wonderful, you see, and women can do no wrong and they don't make any mistakes. And so it's not your fault, ladies. So what's happening is when women go out and get into relationships, all of a sudden they say, I was promised a guy that would not only be strong and athletic and handsome because I deserve the best. And those are the guys that have been sleeping with me, but they haven't manned up and married me yet. But the only interesting guys that are interested in actually having a long-term relationship are guys that are, well, they're steady, but there's no chemistry. And, they're really not super hot, but they're good guys. They're just not everything. So what's happening? Well, women want the best of both worlds. So there's an article here that I'm going to read from abc.net AU, which is, I guess, an Aussie from ABC Life. And it's an article that says why more women are suggesting open relationships. It's by a lady named Kelly Scott. And she said it's women leading the relationship revolution and asking to bring other people into their previously monogamous relationships, explains author and social researcher Wendy Martin. Before a work trip a few years ago, Chloe hinted to her husband she wanted to have some intimacy with someone else. While she didn't have a particular person in mind, it had been a fantasy of hers for a while. Far from dismissing it, her husband suggested she go for it. And right there tells you what kind of guy he is. You see, when there's a strong, charismatic, dominating, I don't want to say dominant, but maybe that's dominating is not the right word, a strong independent guy. When there's a strong independent guy or a strong-willed person who knows his own self-value and his wife comes to him and says, I want to be with other people, he says, you know what, that's a great idea. Go ahead and pack your things. I'll go ahead and file the paperwork for divorce, and you go right ahead, and then you can be with anybody you want. That's what a guy with self-worth does. Her husband obviously didn't have self-worth. Why? Probably because she married or ended up getting asked to marry a guy that was kind of a provider guy, a guy that doesn't have it all, that felt lucky to have her. And so he feels like she's the prize. And if the prize wants to go have her fun, he's going to do it to keep her happy. They continue on. That didn't eventuate, but the couple officially began a non-monogamous relationship earlier this year. An old friend had called Chloe to wish her happy birthday, and they ended up catching up and sleeping together. Wow, that's shocking, isn't it? That an old friend, those guys that are always circling around, coming sniffing around the cute girls of their past, and lo and behold, they were just friends, but then something happened. I am so terribly shocked. I can't believe that happened. Oh no. It was very intense. That was the first time I had intimacy with anyone aside from my partner in 10 years, she says. Well, of course, butterflies, excitement, something new. Everybody likes that. Guys like that too. Guys like the excitement. However, they usually understand that if they pursue this and they're told no, a divorce can shortly follow suit, and they lose half their things. Also, they tend to stay happier as long as they're getting their physicality met. They tend to stay happier longer in a relationship. There are studies on this. Since then, Chloe and her husband have dated and slept with other people, with some connections stronger than others. The only way people traditionally have thought about having feelings for others or sleeping with someone other than their primary partner is betrayal, she says. Or it's a sign something's gone terribly wrong. Ding, 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 correct. That's a very big sign that something's gone wrong. It means she's no longer attracted to you. You're just the provider, and she wants to go out and find somebody she is attracted to. But here's the interesting thing. Why didn't she go out and find someone she was attracted to in the first place? Because those guys aren't settling down. Those guys aren't getting married. They're out there with lots of choices and lots of women to choose from, and they get lots of attention, and so they don't settle down. They don't need to. You see, the old relationship guarantee, or the contract that men would have with women back in the day was, look, I will work very hard. I will bring home as good a money as I can for the family. I'll be a good father. I'll take care of the family. And you will have no worries in the world. All I ask from you is that you cook, you keep a clean home, you help take care of the kids, you maybe take care of our social life and set up social events that you think will be good for the family, and you give me a little bit of that nookie. Well, now guys can get the nookie without making all those other promises. And so they say, hey, I don't have to make the social contract anymore. I don't have to provide. I don't have to take care of a family. Doesn't matter what kind of job I have. And I have a story, actually, I'm going to do in the video after this about this, where, these guys that are good looking, have a little bit of action, maybe a little bit of money, or at least represent that they have money. They get the action. They're not going to settle down. They don't need to. But the guys that are willing to, they're Mr. Provider Man. She says, or it's signed something terribly gone wrong, but Chloe doesn't feel that way, nor do a growing number of others. Right, the women don't feel that way. Of course not, because they're getting their cake and eating it too. I get him staying at home, being a good dad, being a provider, and helping me with stuff around the house, and then I go out on Friday night and sleep with, a Chad. Of course she's going to come home happy. More and more people are actively looking for alternatives to monogamy, research shows. Those more people are women. And it's women leading this relationship revolution, explains author and social researcher Wendy Martin. The more empowered women become, the more you will see women saying, I'm done with monogamy. Changing relationships led by women. The story we've heard over and over is, whether it's in the media or scientific studies, that is, monogamy somehow comes more easily to women than that monogamy somehow comes more easily to women, says Martin. And then we're also told that for men, it's quite natural to be promiscuous. We want to spread their seed and want to basically have intimacy with anything that isn't nailed down. Now, here's what's interesting. Now, I still think this is true to some degree as far as the guys go. Yes, we're naturally always looking. We're always naturally interested. But it's not a romantic thing. It's just a pure physical thing. Well, it turns out women are becoming more like that it's a pure physical thing, because there's no ramifications. There's no downside for them. The woman says, I decided to get divorced. Why? He wasn't meeting my needs. He wasn't making me happy anymore. So I decided to move on. Oh, good for you, because he wasn't pulling his weight. Now the man decides to leave her. because maybe she wasn't meeting his needs. He abandoned us. He just left us. No reason. He just, things got a little tough and he just threw us aside. Oh, I'm so sorry. You see, women always win. It's always the women's win. It's always the guy's fault, you see. And they're coming around the same thing now. It's, well, this alpha guy that's good looking and popular, he only used me and then he left me. Even though he never said he wanted to be in a long-term relationship, he was always pretty clear that I thought maybe he'd change his mind. But that's his bad for leading me on, even though he told me the way it was going to be. Or, this guy doesn't really excite me. He's okay. I guess I'll marry him because at least he asked me and I'll be with him and then I can have a family and I have someone provide for me. You can choose A or B. What do? They choose both. C. Option C. Well, I just want it all, you see. So they said, and then we're also told that for men it's quite natural to be promiscuous, but in the past decade, research is telling us now a new story about male and female intimacy. There have been at least 6 longitudinal studies, and there's links here, I'll leave the link down below for you guys, totaling tens of thousands of adults in a range of ages from 18 to 70, which have shown consistently that in long-term committed exclusive relationship, women stop wanting to have intimacy in years 1 to 4, the first 4 years. I've talked about this. I've talked about it. It's because once a woman knows she has her guy, once she knows that the excitement's over, the newness is over, he's kind of hers, and the more devoted to her he is, the more he has to hustle and keep making things more and more interesting and more extravagant, more over the top for her to stay interested. It continues to be work. Now, in years back, this was still the case, but again, women said, hey, if I leave him, child support's not very much. I don't have the government to help me. I'll be ostracized. I'll be a single mom. But no, today, government's got your back, plenty of child support. Brave single mother, you go girl, go get your thing. And so there's no social stigma attached to it anymore. They continue on, but men in these long-term exclusive relationships are pretty happy with having intimacy with their long-term partners for 9 or 12 years without reporting boredom. See, because again, it's not that she necessarily stays super hot. It's because if he cares about her and she's intimate with him, his physical needs are getting met. He doesn't have these crazy, wild emotional needs that need to be met. But with women, they do, because they get bored. Martin says it's not because women want less intimacy. They need variety, novelty, and adventures. Otherwise, they get bored. Right, the sparkles, the tingles, oh, something new, something devious and sneaky. Oh, this cute guy over there winked at me, or maybe I have a chance, all that. And a guy's kind of like, oh man, I'd love to get with her. Can I? No? All right. Can I? Yeah. Sweet. There isn't this hypothetical dream space where they imagine how it's going to be and it's going to be all exciting, and that's the emotional ride that women like. What we see consistently, repeatedly, is that for women only, long-term monogamy is predicting low desire, not because they don't like intimacy, but because it's harder for them to be interested in intimacy with the same person over and over and over. Now, could this be biological? Perhaps. Men are kind of told, hey, go out and sow your seeds. But there have been some studies, and granted it's not human studies, but there have been studies that while there is an alpha male over a group of primates or over a group of lions, one male lion with lionesses, that occasionally almost all of the females in many different animal studies sneak off to be with some other male other than the alpha male of the pride. And they said this is done to keep the genetic gene pool mixed up. So there is some science that says this may be hardwired to wander. Now, is that, men are also hardwired to wander as well, but research is showing that men are, as they even say here, men are happier 9 to 12 years where women are 1 to 4. So even though it's hardwired, what is keeping men kind of in it longer than women? Well, number one, they're getting their needs fulfilled. And number two, I think this is a big part of it too. Guys know that if at any point they change their mind about it and they walk away, they're going to lose their shirts. They might lose their custody of the kids. They're going to be paying child support, maybe alimony. And so the law is keeping them in it longer, where the women, they don't have the same restraints anymore. And again, there's no social stigma to it. Again, if she leaves, her needs not being met, it's his fault. If he leaves, he just, was awful to them and left them in the hook, it's his fault. See, it's always his fault. When researching her book, Untrue, Why Nearly Everything We Believe About Women, Lust, Infidelity is Wrong and How the New Science Can Set Us Free, boy, that's quite a long title there, Martin discovered it was women who were primarily asking for poly or open relationships. They were coming into their therapists with the male partners and saying, I want us to introduce a third into our relationship. Desiree Spearings is a relationship counselor and a therapist in Sydney. She says the clients she has worked with, more often it is the women instigating an open relationship. And generally she sees more same sex couples in non-monogamous relationships than men and women couples. There are lots of stats available for it in Australia, but in 2014, they found 1% and 5,323 respondents were in an open relationship. So 1% of 5,000. That's not a lot. However, that is back in 2014, and in the last 6 years, a lot has changed. They say, and then they kind of get into the difference between the types of open relationships. I'm not going to get down all into that stuff, but what it means for the relationship, when Chloe first experienced a desire to be with other people other than her husband, she wondered if it reflected of her feelings for him. I was worried that it meant I needed to get a divorce. I've been in and out of therapy for a long time, and I remember the therapist saying, all these feelings you're feeling have got nothing to do with your relationship with your husband. It's all on you. That was a light bulb moment for Chloe, who says non-committal relationship has only made the relationship with her husband stronger, perhaps from her view, but from his view, he's getting, he's become a cuck. That's all there is to it. He's become a cuck. Ms. Spearing says for any couple considering changing their monogamous relationship to non-monogamous one, there are a few things to consider. Firstly, why do you want to be with other people? Is it their issues? Because that's not the right reason. Is it because you're contemplating the ending the primarily relationship? That's the easy way out. If you establish it's for the right reason, you and your partner need to set boundaries. Oh, well, there you go. Because it's the right reason. Here's the reason why. It's because women are more and more often told in society today, look, you are a strong, independent woman. You deserve to get what you want, and you can go for it. You can go for it and get what you want. They're told this in many different outlets, and so they listen. And they said, okay, I get to sleep with really good-looking guys because men will sleep down because that's what we do. I mean, not we as like us specifically, but men in general will many, many times, and I've talked about this before, but guys are not always thinking with this head, they're thinking with that one. And so they, when you're young especially, and that testosterone is driving you absolutely crazy, you go out and make these decisions, and then the minute it's over, like lightning, you go, man, why did I do this? Why am I here? Why am I in this chick's bedroom? I got to get out of here. That happens. But in the meantime, the women sleep up. Now, when it comes to long-term dating, they can't wrangle these guys in to commit to long-term. And so they go through this pattern of dating short-term to medium-term, guys that are a catch for them. But then when it comes time to, I want a long-term relationship, those guys aren't around. So what do? Is they start setting their sights lower, and they end up getting married for opportunity, not love or not chemistry, because the chemistry and the love part, they're not getting it reciprocated. And then when they get bored and they have secured the long-term relationship, they say, now I want the chemistry. Now I want it both. Now I want you to stay here and provide for me, and we have the kids together and we have a good established home, but also every Thursday I want to go out with, Chad or, Tyrone or whoever. I want to go out with some guy out here who's good looking that just wants to bang my brains out, and then I'll come home to you and all my needs are met. And in the meantime, the guy's saying, okay, so maybe he gets to go out and get some, but remember, he's kind of the beta provider guy. He's second tier. What chances are what opportunities is he really going to have to date? And especially someone that he's really looking forward, zero. The odds are very heavily against that. So there you go, guys. If you are ever hoping to be in a long-term relationship, just understand after year 1 to 4, there's going to be a continual having to prove yourself, having to show her that you're a good catch, and that escalates over time. So eventually you're going to hit a wall where you can't still prove that you're the best of the bunch, because the unknown, the mysterious guy, the guy that shows up to the gym, that's good looking, he's got a motorcycle, he's a little bit dangerous, he's got a tattoo on his shoulders, and he's muscular, and he's good looking, and he winked at me. I want to find out what that's about. You can't, it's mystery box number 3. You can never convince her that what she already has is better than what might be out there. Because a lot of times there's so many stories I've read on here where I left my husband, I went and played the field for 8 years, and how do I get him back? But I hurt him and I know he doesn't want to come back. There are millions of those stories out there too. Because then when they realize, okay, I can't get the super bad boys anymore because I've aged a little bit or whatever the reason may be, then they say, well, geez, I'm going to be alone forever. Where's my guy that was providing for me and gave me a good home? Let me see if I can find him again. Time after time after time. So keep this in mind, guys. If you want to date long term, it's odds are against you. It's a coin flip, and you don't get to flip the coin. 60 to 80% of the time, the woman files, and it's a 50% divorce rate first time. So it's a coin flip, and you don't get to flip the coin. Every day, she may be flipping that coin, deciding whether or not she's done with you or wants to open up the relationship, and you have no idea it's coming. You might think things are just great. And then when it does happen and you wake up and you realize, holy cow, she wants to open things up or she wants to leave me, you're blindsided. And your emotions are wrecked, and then it's time to talk to a lawyer and start worrying about the child support and how much this is going to cost you for alimony. What a great surprise. Just think, it's like the sword of Damocles hanging over your head every day if you're even in a good relationship. Because this guy sounds like it was in a good relationship, yet she dropped the bomb on him and he said, okay, no problem. Let's do it. Why? Because he had no choices. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, links below as always. If you have, thank you very much. Best way to support me is like, comment, share, subscribe, and join the community over on betterbachelor.locals.com. I will leave it there. This is Better Bachelor. I'm Joker. Remember, there is no win. There's no win for the long term. It's just how long can you win for until you lose?